This is the Ninja's Way podcast, where we talk all things ninja industry, ranging from top-tier athletes to the local ninja entrepreneur. Listen to their journey to success as they conquer obstacles in ninja and in life. This is the Ninja's Way. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja's Way podcast. I am here with Glen and Melissa Davis from the Rig Ninja Gym. They are Ninja Gym owners. They are also athletes of the ninja community. So we're going to hear a little bit about their story here today. We also have Jake from Conquer Ninja, our co-host, on with us as well. Can you guys share the story behind the Rig and how it all came to be? What was the vision for it when you just started?
It was really crazy. I had Ninja Quest. And during COVID, things slowed down a little bit, and I was in the process of opening up the rig with Melissa. And in doing so, our building was sold. The building that Ninja Quest was in was sold. And when it was sold, we had the rig, and we had to decide if we were going to do another gym with the rig or just do the rig. And we decided just keep the rig and roll with it. And that's pretty much how the rig started.
Where are you guys located? Where is this at?
The rig is in Houston, Georgia. It's by where the Atlanta Falcons Stadium is and all that stuff, where they practice and everything.
Sweet.
What got you guys into ninja? Why ninja? Why a ninja gym? Tell us a story that got you into this sport.
It is a crazy, crazy story. I'll give you the fast track. I did gymnastics in high school, did gymnastics in college. And then when I got out of college, I coached gymnastics and then opened up my own gymnastics center. I coached gymnastics for 35 years. And then after coaching gymnastics, a friend of mine had told me, hey, you should think about doing ninja. And I had no clue what ninja was. And so I looked it up, saw what it was. And I said, yeah, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And this was when I was 49. I sent in my first submission video to Ninja Warrior, and I had on a suit, and I was just at a church, and I'm just on my back deck, and I said, I'm Glen Davis, and I think I can do this, and I think I can be a Ninja Warrior, and then didn't get picked. So I was like, oh man. So what wound up happening was I did the same thing again in the following year, but I was a little bit more in tune with what was going on. I had met Ryan Stratus and I said, he helped me with my video. And Ryan's, yeah, he goes, just play on the fact that you're older. So I put on some bifocals and I put on some suspenders and some high water pants. And I got a walker and I was like, I'm Glen Davis and I'm 50 years old and I'm going to be the next American Ninja Warrior. You hear me? Yeah. And I sent that in and I actually got called. So I was like, whoa, that was the best thing. I wound up getting on the show. And while I was there, I'm looking around and everything. And I'm like, man, I think I could build this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so immediately after the show was over, when I got back to Georgia, I went to Pruny, Dr. Pruny at Ninja Core.
Yeah, Ninja Core.
And I said, hey, Doc, I said, I want to open up a ninja gym. And he says, you can open it up in my space. You can do ninja and I'll do CrossFit. Mm. So I actually started Ninja Core.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I started Ninja Core. I named it. I did all of it and ran it for a good period of time. And then I wanted to expand and he wanted to stay where it was. So I said, that's cool. So I moved to another location and opened up the first Ninja Quest, which was in a 5,000 square foot facility. It immediately blew up there and moved to another facility, opened up a 30,000 square foot facility. And that's where the last one was. And after getting in that facility, it completely just took off. And then,
what? Oh yeah, my story is different than his.
Yeah.
Then
she popped into my gym.
Yeah. For my 46th birthday, I went to Ninja Quest. And I started with no athletic background, did nothing my whole life. And for some reason I could do this stuff. And I met him and he started training me. And I've been on the show twice. And now I just get to be a kid every day.
That's awesome. How long ago was that then, you guys?
That was
Like when,
2017.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she started in 2017. I've been doing this. When I first started started Ninja Core, there was only about 6 gyms in the whole country.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like there was there's gyms up north. There was a couple gyms up north. There was a couple gyms in like the Texas area, and then there was a couple like in Florida. Not Florida. There was nothing in Florida. It was in California. And so there was no script. There was no one to ask, nobody. The first person I really contacted and talked about I talked to Chris Wilczewski in the beginning. He was one of the first ones. And then like Dave Campbell and Brian Kretsch and those guys. And I knew them through Ryan. Cause when I told Ryan I was going to open up a gym, I'm there with you. So I was blessed to have, when I opened up, I had Ryan working for me, Brett Sims working for me, Grace Sims came on board. We had so many of these people, and that's the family that got it started in this area, in this part of the country, really.
Yeah. And it's exploded since then. A couple of the names that you dropped, like they got their own gyms and their own facilities now. And it is cool to see those kind of early beginnings then explode out into other businesses and other ninja gyms in the area. And Melissa, I gotta tell you, you inspire me, man. I would see your videos on Facebook of you like, and I'm like, man, I need to go train. Like you're crushing it out there. So to have an athletic background and come into ninja and crush it the way that you do on the course, way to go. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
She is an absolute beast. It's so funny. Like the stuff that you see, like I see her do stuff that nobody else gets to see because she's just now getting into her own with competitions and getting used to competing. Because with no athletic background, she's never done sports. So
Yeah,
she's
truly nothing ever.
So she's never understood what it's like to go against somebody, what it's like to have people in the stands, people watching you, critiquing you. So she's the second chance ninja. Like the first time she does something, she's completely like flustered, doesn't know what's going on. The second time she does it, she crushes it. So she's really turned that around a lot, man. And she's pretty
So
tough.
Melissa, how do you like the competition portion of it now? Like, is that
it's getting better. I'm liking it more. So it pushes me harder. So it's good.
Yeah, it's so funny because now with the way that the WNL is, where you can do the challenge course, where you can go through,
yeah, it's good for people like me.
That works really for her because now she can go at the first obstacle knowing, okay, if I do make a slight mistake or something, I get another try at it. And when I get another try, you better watch out. And that's been her mentality. And right now she's been crushing it. She's pretty high up there in WNL and the Masters. So
yeah, we're both going against people that are like, I'm 53, so I'm going against 40-year-olds. And he's 62, so he's going against 40-year-olds. So
yeah, it's so funny.
It's a lot. That age difference is a big thing.
Yeah, people
that is a popular conversation right now, like opening up some of these more master age brackets, because a lot of ninjas that were in their 40s, they're in their 50s, and now you guys, Glenn, you're in your 60s, which that's awesome that you're still rocking it.
Didn't UNAA make a new age class?
Yeah, they did.
For it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 50.
Yep.
I think
I'm almost positive.
Isn't there a 50 and a 60? Or no, or just 50?
I'm not sure. But yeah, they just raised it. But it's funny because people used to always ask me, they're like, what is it like? Are you upset that they have kids starting to do A&W? And I'm like, my first competition, I was 50. They were kids when I started.
Yeah.
Gill, I can remember Daniel and all of those guys just starting. Daniel Gill, he's a kid. He's the new kid coming on. And then it's always been more kids. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm just happy and blessed that there's something out there for older people where we can get out there and we can do this kind of stuff.
Sure. Earlier, you had mentioned of your first facility was like 5,000, and now you were in a 30,000 square foot facility. How big is the rig?
The rig is small because it was supposed to be like a little satellite program in the middle of nowhere where there's absolutely nothing. And actually, when we got here, the people were telling us, I don't know if people are going to be able to afford that. They're going to be able to do it and everything. And we opened up, and again, we've already blown the doors off of this place. We've got so many
every class is
students.
full.
All our
crazy.
classes are full. Melissa and I teach all the classes,
Mm.
and it's almost 7,000 square feet. We need a bigger facility just so we can do all of the things we want to do.
Is that 7,000 like the whole space or just like the floor space?
The whole space. That's like we have a very small, we're in our office right now. We have a very small office. Then we have our reception area is actually in part of the waiting room. And then we have a birthday room. And then other than that, it's the gym.
It's a good space though.
The gym it's packed out. It's
obstacles.
packed out with obstacles. I probably have, I have all the obstacles from Ninja Quest too. And so I have all the obstacles from a 30,000 square foot facility. I could fill this gym 5 times easily. I've got probably about 190 obstacles, and we probably have about 70 set up right now.
Tell us about your classes. You got adults. What do your class look like in regards to kids, adults, things like that?
At Ninja Quest, we were probably 60% adults, and here we're probably 80% kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
mostly under 8.
Yeah, our age groups are like that 5 to 10 group right now is just flooding through the door. We have a few elites, and we have a few of those guys doing upper, but for the most part, it's the adults are small. We're getting ready to do outside OCR. So we have a huge field on both sides of us. So we're going to have an outdoor ninja section, and we're going to have a outdoor 21 obstacle OCR section, so that you could come camp out for the weekend and you could do OCR, or you could train indoor or outdoor.
So I have to ask, because your story is interesting, right? You started Ninja Core,
Yep.
And then you had Ninja Quest, and I don't know quite what happened with Ninja Quest, but like, why stay with another ninja gym? Like, what kept you in ninja gyms? Because I've asked myself the same question. Like, I've had my own story of this gym and that didn't quite work out, and COVID and that didn't quite work out. And for me, it's ninja just has this hold on my heart. But for you, like, what kept you still pursuing ninja and not doing something else?
You know, I'm glad you asked that, because I was wondering that about you myself, because I follow you.
Yeah.
And to see your journey and to see where you've come from, I basically had the same question for you. I do it because after doing gymnastics for 35 years and then selling my gym and trying to find what I love to do, I'm a builder as well. My father's a builder and my brother's a builder. So what ended up happening was I wanted to be able to still do something where I could build and I can still work with people. I love people. And you know what? Honestly, God keeps pushing me this way, because every time I think, like when I opened up Ninja Quest, when I walked in the door of the 30,000 square foot facility and said, this is going to be my gym, everybody thought I was crazy. And honestly, I never had a doubt. I don't know why, but I'm like, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. And then I had it for years, and I'm good at what I do. Where else can you help the community, the kids? It's instant gratification. And it's just being able to see a kid come in. We have a bell in our gym on our wall, and it says, it's possible at the rig. And when you learn a skill, no matter where you are in the gym, you get to go over and ring the bell. And when the kids ring the bell, the whole gym stops and acknowledges that skill.
That's awesome.
Man, we have kids who, like, you get the overweight kids and they're like, I don't want to go, mom. I don't want to go. I can't
No.
do anything. And then we'll set up something like a slack line under a truss where they can do rings or cannonballs walking on the slack
Yeah.
line. And they get to the other side and I did it. And I'm like, so we have lots of mottos here. And I get real emotional because I love seeing kids, adults, parents who can't control their kids say to us, how do you do it? I had a lady yesterday, the daughter went out crying and she said she felt like I was yelling at her. And the mother came back and said, Glenn, you don't know, when she goes home, she works so hard because she wants to please you and she wants to do better. And she said she's never done anything like this. And the girl she was crying because she was emotional about what she's been accomplishing. And it was just crazy to see that. I like to tell people this is what school was. School was you go there, you have the PE classes and you do that. And then you go home and you do whatever you're going to do. But like they don't have that anymore in a lot of cases.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was also going to mention we have a special needs group called It's Possible class. And the progress we've seen in that class is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
they said, they're learning more in our class than they did in physical therapy.
Yep.
So,
Isn't that amazing?
oh yeah,
That's-
they just make me smile. They melt my heart.
And it sounds like you guys are really deeply connected to the reason why a lot of people get into the gyms, which is the connection to the kids and the community and providing something that our school systems are not providing. But like those opportunities for a ninja gym to come in and fill that gap be such a powerful thing. And that totally makes sense to me why it's something that's like you just keep pursuing, right? Because once you can see that change in your community and the kids and the people around you that you help, it is hard to go and do anything else.
It really is. It really is.
Let me ask you this, you guys. So part of what you're speaking of is part of your culture. So is that something you consciously have built into your gym, or is that just you and it's happened by default?
Very conscious of it. It started again with Ninja Core and then Ninja Quest. My thing is, I think this business is about relationships. So when people come in here, I want to form a relationship. Without relationships, all this place is metal and wood and structure.
Yep.
Okay, so you're coming to play on metal, wood, and structure. That can only last for so long. Eventually, you're gonna start talking to people. Hey, what do you like to do? What do you like to do? What do you like about this? Why do you do this? Why do you come back? They come back because of the camaraderie and which Ninja has. This is
Yep.
the one. This is the one I feel like, and I hope it doesn't go in another direction. But this is the one I feel like unselfish sport where you can actually root for somebody as hard as you root for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not up to that person to make me win or lose. It's up to me.
Yeah.
And I really want more people to understand that. And I really want the kids that are coming up to understand that. You don't have to hope somebody falls. You can hope and you can try to do better as opposed to, I hope they don't make it.
Yeah, you're training to beat the course. You're training to beat the obstacles. You're training
Exactly.
to be mentally stronger, not
One
beat
themselves.
another person, not beat a team. If you don't beat the course, doesn't matter what the other person does.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So I have this question for you guys from being a competitor on the show and that kind of launching your interest into this whole world of ninja, now being a gym owner. And it's evident that you guys value the show, value the athletes that have been on the show. Do you think ninja exists and the pursuit of pushing the sport forward exists if the show goes away?
Yes.
I do. I definitely think it does. I think the show is changing so much. Like I competed this year and it was, to me, it was really weird because basically this season was about young and old and new, and it was a combination of everything. So they brought back the old obstacles. So I was like, I'd competed on those before. So going into it, I really was probably more comfortable this year than I'd ever been.
Oh.
To answer your question, I definitely think it can go on, but I definitely think it has to go on in a way that it has that same structure where, where it's not me versus you. It's a
Yeah.
competition.
You mean with the local
Yeah.
competitions?
And you spoke about that just a little bit early on about what Melissa likes about some of the competing with, like the WNL, how they have the different variations of competition. Well, I almost see the sport progressing in the way that, hey, if you want to be a speed course type athlete in ninja, there's going to be an avenue for that. If you're more of a technical, there's an avenue for that. And it's helping broaden, because as these seasoned ninjas like yourself keep aging, we all are, we have to shift with the sport. And we're not going to be able to keep up with those 16, 17-year-old out there that are just insane at this point. Like the stuff that's happening now, it's in you being a ninja owner and setting up obstacles and stuff. You've probably had it where ninjas are like, hey, can you set this up and do it this way? And you're like, yeah, I don't think that's probably something that'll be done. And then they do it, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think that would be possible.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Happens on a regular basis.
yeah, they ask you to build something or make something a certain way. You're like, what? That isn't. And then you're like, they do it. You're like, oh God, that wasn't even hard enough.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think sets the rig apart from other ninja gyms?
I think one, I know the sport and I know people, and you have to, in my opinion, you have to know your lane. And I think I know my lane. So that's why I think that we're successful with what we do. And I'm not in it for a money grab. I think a lot of people get lost in the money grab part of it. By being an owner, coach, builder, I'm in all aspects. So I think that kind of sets us apart. I think you have people that, like, as long as you've been doing it, how many gyms have you seen go under? You know what I'm saying? And these are gyms with money. They had the money, they had everything they needed, but they were missing something. And with your teaching, I think the way you're teaching and what you're doing right now is amazing, because you're saving, not only are you saving the gyms, you're saving lifestyles. You're saving communities by saving those gyms, by teaching those people how to run and manage their gyms and how to keep the people in their gyms. I've had so many opportunities to franchise and stuff like that, but I'm not a business person. I'm community driven. I do the classes, I write the lesson plans, I build the obstacles. So once you come through the door, you're going to deal with me primarily. Once you come through the door, you're going to deal with Melissa. So Melissa is going to be the person you see who's going to get you set up in classes. She's the first smile you're going to see, and she's going to let you know about what we have to offer. So by being coach owners, that's what you're getting from us, where you might not get that other places.
I can tell you for a fact, without even stepping foot in your gym, one of the things that separates you is just speaking with you is you. That is one of the uniqueness and why you're successful there is just this short conversation. I can tell
really
that.
Appreciate that. I really appreciate that, because that's what we want people to understand. When I was at Ninja Quest a long time ago, when we first, the day we opened the doors, we had all of our shirts made. And on the back of our shirts, if you ever see a Ninja Quest shirt, on the back of the shirt, it says family. Because I didn't want to call them staff. I didn't want to call them employees. I didn't want to say, I wanted everybody to be family. And I wanted people, when they walked into the door, I wanted to say, hey, go see a parkour family member. Go see a ninja family member. Go see a tricking or tumbling family member. And it kept me on the level of everybody else. And it kept
that's awesome.
So that nobody felt like it wasn't owner, it was family. The back of my shirt said family as well. And I've seen other people start using that. I
like it. I've never seen that before. So that's unique in itself too.
If anybody's ever come to one of the gyms that I've had, or we've had, the first thing they say is we felt welcomed. And I want them to feel welcome. I want it to be a safe space. I want it to be a leave your drama outside the gym. Come in and just have some fun.
I've felt the same way. Like you hit on something that resonated with me when you said it is you've been approached about expanding, doing more gyms, doing franchising. That is one route I went. And there's plenty of days where I'm like, I just wish I was back in my original gym just running that, because that's almost more rewarding some days than not, than the business side of growing more locations.
I can respect anybody that can open up other locations successfully, because it takes a piece of you here, a piece of you there, a
Right.
piece of you there. And I could hardly, like, trying to keep my staff on the same page at Ninja Quest was hard enough. I couldn't imagine having to do it in other locations.
It's daunting.
Felt like when you walk in, you said you felt like if you came to the gym, you would understand me. And that's the one thing that I can't guarantee someplace else. But I can guarantee when you walk through the door, you're going to get Glen. Melissa will tell you what I'll do between classes if I need to. I'll come in my office, I'll turn off the light, I'll have 10 minutes before my next class starts, and I'll completely decompress so that when I go out there, the next class gets me 100% just like the first. And the last class will get me the same way the first did.
That's a great tip too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that's actually a concept that I teach, but it's funny because how I teach it as high energy time. So it's like whatever's going to get the coach into a really peak emotional state so that when the kids come in, like they can feed off of the energy of the coach. But I really like that you take the other approach to it of like it's decompressing to put you right back so they come in and give them their best. But I think that's a really important thing for like not only owners, leaders, and facilities to facilitate that time for their coaches to make sure that these kids are coming in. And I like to tell people you're a mirror and the kids are going to mirror off of the energy that you're bringing to the table. And so we need to learn how to become aware of those things and manage those things. Melissa, I wanted to ask, so how long have you guys been together?
We've been married for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been together for 5.
Yep.
Cool. So
married 2/22/22 at 2/22 on a Tuesday.
I'm curious around your thoughts of running a business with your husband and how has that been for you guys? Has that helped your relationship? Is there challenges with your relationship?
Yeah. Are you really decompressing from the class, or
He's just trying to get away from me. I'm not like allowed in the room, so
kidding?
now we're together like at least 23 hours a day.
Yeah, we're together all the time.
So we don't get sick of each other.
And
Not really.
I think it's because we don't have to fake it.
He's my
we're
best
just
friend.
real with each other. There's nothing I can't say to her. There's nothing she can't say to me. I think a lot of relationships, that's a really hard place to be. And we're that way. We give each other space if we need space. But the funny thing about it, we not only do we do the ninja and everything together, but we train together outside of the gym. So and then we have a home gym. When there are times when I just am not feeling it, she's, let's do it. Let's get up. Let's go. And then there's some times when both of us have just had a long week or whatever. And she's, let's grab the bikes and let's go hit the trail. And we get the bikes and we go ride. Or we go skateboard. You'll see her climbing a building. I'm like, come on, get down. You can't climb that. So
you guys are defying all types of age, societal norms, and I absolutely love that. I love to see that.
We just want to inspire others.
Yeah, like I said, you guys definitely inspire me. So what advice would you give people who are looking to start their own ninja gym?
you have to really love what you do.
And be patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient. And
it took us a while to grow our classes and everything to the size that it is.
Sure.
It's one of the things I could point out that I just observed is you got to have a supportive team.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. You definitely have to have the support.
I feel like you have to, I don't know, it seems like you have to really love ninja to open a ninja gym.
I the reason why that's a tricky question is because what are your motives for opening a gym? What are you wanting to gain? I would have to ask somebody, what are you wanting from
Totally.
it? Because if you come to me and you say, I have so many people go, I'm going to open up a ninja gym, right? And then they're like, I got a building. I'm like, okay, you got a building. Okay.
Now what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, so now what are you going to do? And I learned this because when I opened up the first Ninja Quest, the 5,000 square foot facility, I had to deal with the fire marshal. I had to deal with stuff that was like, I'm like, that's not ninja. What do you? I don't know about.
No, there's
What do
nothing
you mean
fun
I have to
about
do
that.
this?
Yes.
And then when I went, so then the fire marshal was now like my best friend. And so when I opened up the 30,000 square foot facility, I called him first and I said, hey, I want to open up the gym here. Can you please come look at it before I do anything? And he came and he walked it through, but it was in the next city over. So he really didn't have any say so, but he told me everything I needed to do so that when the next fire marshal came in to look at it, I wasn't going to be worried when he walked through the door. But the new fire marshal walks through the door and he's, what is this? He saw a spring floor and he goes, wait, you have to have a guardrail around here. You have to have a handicap ramp. And I'm like,
Yep.
it's a spring floor for gymnastics. You don't need a rail. You don't put a rail. It's not safe. But anyway.
But these are obstacles that ninja gym owners and people who are opening these businesses, they don't anticipate. I like just hearing you say that story. We built a 2-story ninja rig with a trussing and then a floor and a trussing. And within the first week, we had somebody call the fire marshal, and then we spent $8,000 to install a sprinkler system to go under the second floor of the thing, right? And these are expenses and things that you don't anticipate. And did we have the budget to put a whole new sprinkler system in the building?
We had to put a sprinkler system behind the warp wall.
Hey, you guys, we've done it. We've had to put them in the warped walls.
I believe it.
I've put sprinkler system in the warped walls. I completely filled them with insulation.
Oh,
and then the cities that don't give you the hard time, we just leave them as storage.
I know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Those are the things that people don't know. And then the other thing that they neglect is insurance. They don't know, what about they open up the gyms with no insurance, and then you try to get insurance and you can't get insurance. And I've done this for so long, these pitfalls. And
no, I think that's a whole nother episode. That episode itself is the obstacles of a ninja gym, and not necessarily the obstacles per se.
Right.
What does ninja mean to you?
Ninja to me is not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Now that's pretty much my answer. Why is it a lifestyle? Because it's something that you can do with your spouse, your kids, your family. So very few things in life can you all sit around the table together and discuss, or watch on TV and discuss and get exercise.
Our gym the rig stands for individual goals. So for me, that's what ninja is, because starting from nothing, like reaching each of those goals is huge for me.
That is a great one. Yeah. That is ninja at the core.
Yeah. That's what we want everyone to feel, that they accomplish something when they come through our doors.
Where can they find you, and how can people get started with the rig?
They can go to our social media. So we're on Instagram at _rig_gym, and Facebook, the Rig Gym. And reach out, give us a call.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your journey and opening up to us today. It was awesome to get connected with you guys, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.